Hello, hello. So today we're going to be continuing on the idea of mocking the observable return and then add more steps to it. So the next step we should be doing in the TDD cycle is to actually do not render a blank slate, which is represented as like empty array, but actually an array of some values. So as it usually is in the first cycle of the TDD, we should just focus on writing the test code. So the next test, it will say it should render multiple list items or multiple users in the list. Okay, so in this example, I will not have an empty array. I will actually have like a new user model, and then in here I will say a login, maybe one. Then I will have avatar URL, and it needs to be of type URL. And in here I'm gonna have HTTP some image.com image JPG, and this is like yeah, and this is like the first array, first data in the array. The second one is analogical, and then we're just gonna have a image too. So bear in mind we are in unit test world, so this is why I'm not putting the real number, like the real images or the real logins. This is only to verify that the software is working. Like if I would like to validate whether the software does what it needs to do from the business perspective, I would be writing acceptance test. But this is not, we're gonna talk about it later, and this is not the scope of this video. Okay, so in here, we have a simple test, pretty much copy paste, and what we should expect is not actually the text content. We should be fetching based on the CSS class, let's say so. Um, Again, the idea of the data selectors is pretty strong. For now, I'll just assume that like CSS classes are fine. So in here, I will have a user items, and then I will say fixture dot debug element dot query all because I want more than one, and then I want to say by what. I want to query by CSS, and then I want to find mat list item. Alright, the easiest thing I can do is to assert that user items.length is to equal to, because that's how many of them I have here. Let me run that test first. Yeah, so yeah, this is this validation I was talking about before. So let me try one more time. Yeah, so it's passing. In this example, you can see that it's actually the tests are already green. It's because the same code was working for like the empty array and it is now. And bear in mind that I've built this component first without tests, so now I'm pretty much like covering with the tests. So the cycle is a little bit different, but yet there's still a part of the refactor. So what I would like to refactor here is that I don't like that we're creating the domain models here. I think we start coupling too many concepts. So let's just base it on some sort of simple. Oh yeah, I can actually extract it away. So let's just copy the values. Yeah, let's create a variable for it. So user stub, which represents a user model array, and it's an array of objects, let's just say so. I could use some sort of factory methods here to actually, create more than run at the same time because there's a clear pattern in between. But let's just keep it simple for now. It will come in next videos. Okay, so this is one refactor that should still work. And now, when I add an element here, I would like to also be reflected here. So I would love to couple these two concepts together here in the test. Now when I run it, it's still fine. That's good. There are no errors. So, but obviously this test is just asserting that there are list items. It would be nice to know that the image is real, an image with the CSS, with source, and then H3 is actually displaying the text. So what we can do is to do something like this. We can say user items, the first element. So there is a long discussion we could have about whether to test both list items or only one. I like to keep it only to one for now, is because testing both sometimes doesn't make really sense. I mean, you would have to make a wrong test here and put in some totally different object. Then yeah, but you made like a conscious error. And assuming that the given part of the test is correct, that should be enough to just test only one. If you really want to be having 100% sure, you could do like for each and test all user items. But I often find out that this is sort of like slowing down everything. So yeah, it's not very useful. Okay, and then in here I want to select the first one. So again, I want to select by CSS. In this example, I'm not sure what the mat list avatar, what kind of class it gives. So I'm just gonna use by element. And then I believe it's native element src. Yeah, and then here I want to say to equal users tab the same index dot avatar URL dot URL. So we're just pretty much checking that the binding in templates is exactly the same. Let me run this one. Yeah, that's fine. And then the last one would be based on H3. But in this situation, I would say text content to equal login. Cool, and that works, and that really concludes, this mini series about the smart components. In the next mini series, we're going to talk more about smart components versus presentational components, but because when you look at this template, that's far from good. A lot of times my smart component right now is mixing the presentational logic, like we've shown those blank slates and stuff. It shouldn't be really done like this. That should be part of like presentational layer. I mean, smart component and presentation components are within the same UI layer, but they are sort of like two different concepts, and they have a very important relationship in between each other. And we're going to talk more about it in the next mini series. But for now, that's it. I hope you liked it, and yeah, see you soon. Stay curious and get better every day. See you guys.